Hey guys, welcome here. In last lecture we created a new form to create a new goal. In this lecture we will continue, we will get a break from our form, and I will show you how we can separate your functionality into separate components. So let's see what we can separate here. Let's scroll down here, and here we have activities. So I can separate all of this code here of the activity to separate component. Okay, so let's do it. Let's navigate to our folders here on the left side and let's create here a new folder. So let's create a new folder and let's call it components. So components here, perfect. And inside of a components folder, I will create a new file. So a new file here and let's call it activity item. So activity item like this, activity item.js, perfect. And I will write here some code. So let's write here view component. All right, component, this is a function, and inside we will provide first value, and this will be name of our component. So this will be activity item. So write here activity dash item, and this name is up to you. You can choose a different name if you want. For me, it is gonna be activity item. Okay, and the next value will be object. So let's specify here object, and first I will specify here props, and I will talk about props in a second. So right here there's a props for now, and this will be empty array for now. Okay, and a second value will be template. So template like this, and let's write here backticks. So backticks like this. Okay, perfect. So these are component activity item. And actually let's write here some HTML. So I'll write here h1 like this, and let's write here I am activity items. I am activity item. Perfect. Let's save this, and now we can import this code inside of our index.html. So let's go to our index.html, and first let's import this script. So just under this view.js script, I will copy this. All right, let's remove this src value and let's provide here a new path. So this will be the same folder instead of a component. So dot and slash instead of a components folder, and we want to import our activity item. Perfect. And I will make this slightly bigger. Perfect. And this should be activity item.js. So now we imported our new component, and we can use this component inside of our HTML here. So when you want to reference your component, you can simply just write it like this. Activity and dash item and close it. Very simple. So we are referencing this component under a name we specified here. So activity item, you can see activity item here. Let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. Let's refresh this, and you can see here, I will close this, I am activity item is here. Perfect. So these are a new component, but we want to do something different with this component. Okay, so let's go back to our coding editors. And we will clear this a little bit more. So I will remove this activity item from here, actually. Okay, so let's remove this. And let's copy this whole article. So I will copy this whole article from here. Let's copy it, and actually we can cut it from here. So I will cut it from here. Let's go to our activity item and let's remove this h1 and let's paste everything here. So paste it here, and actually we can indent it more nicer. Like this. Perfect. That's amazing, but when you will save everything now, let's go back to our browsers. You will refresh this. You can see we are getting nothing here. When I will inspect this, I should see some error here, and actually I don't see any error, but our code is not displayed on the screen. So what we need to fix? Let's go back to our coding editors, and first I will remove this iteration from here, because here we don't have activities, as you can see here. So I will copy this from here. Let's copy this, we can remove this, and let's go to index.html, and I will move this iteration over here. So I will reference here our activity item, So right here our activity item we just created, like this, and let's move this iteration on this item like this. So before activity, in activities we are iterating this item with this HTML we just pasted here. Perfect. When you will save this, it will still not work because our item here doesn't have activity here. So some way we need to send activity we are iterating to this activity item, and this we have a props for. So we can send activity from here to our activity item, and you can do it like this. So let's see. I will write here v-bind, and I would like to bind here our activity. So let's bind here activity. Okay, so I'm sending a value of an activity to our activity item, and I need to specify to v-bind a name under which I want to send this value here to these props. So I will specify here a colon, and the name will be simply just activity. And I will place it on a second line so it's more clear what's happening here. So I'm iterating over activities. Every iteration I will get a value to activity. Value from activity I'm sending as a prop to my activity item here. So now I need to specify here a props, and we call this activity like this. So now I have here this activity we are displaying here, activity title and activity updated at. So when I will save everything, let's go back to our browsers. Let's refresh this, and now you can see we are displaying this data on the screen again. So let's see what will happen when I will change the naming here. So let's see. Let's go to activity item, and I will change these props for something else. So I will change it for for something that doesn't make sense, for a cat. So and now I want to access here a cat title and a cat updated at. So this doesn't make much sense, but let's see what will happen now in the browser. I will refresh this, and I'm not getting here anything. So why is that? Because we specified here a prop of a cat, but here we are binding here activity. So when I will rename this activity for a cat, so we are specifying this prop of a cat. Now when I will save this, I will refresh, I am getting these values here. So let's get back here and let's rename it for activity. We don't want to work with the cats. So I will revert these changes. Your props activity, h4 activity, and a element activity here. Perfect. So now everything should work as before. So when I will go back, I will refresh, I should see my data on the screen. Alright guys, before we will close this lecture, I would like to show you one more important thing. Let's get back here and let's go to index.html. And when you iterating your items, you should specify here also attribute of a key. So let's get down here and let's bind here a key. Like this. Very simple, and this should be something unique. So what we have a unique on activity? Let's see our activities here. What's a unique here? For example, title here is unique. There's a different title here, and this is a different title. So we can bind this value to a key there. But I would like to do something else, and I will actually specify here a new key of the ID, and a value will be our ID from here. So just let's simply copy it like this, and here let's provide to a second activity new ID, and this will be from here. Very simple, guys. We are specifying here new value of the ID, a new key of the ID, and we are providing this value here. Okay, so now I can bind this value up here to a key. So just write here activity dot ID. Very simple. Let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. All right, let's refresh. Let's inspect if we don't have any errors here. Let's see. And actually, we don't have any errors. I will refresh this. You can see this is coming from a network because favicon is not found. That's okay. So that should be from this lecture to our components. So now you know how you can separate your functionality, and this actually makes a sense. When you have a lot of code, you don't want to keep everything just in one file, but you want to separate this functionality to separate components. Now you know how to create these components, how you can send a prop. So here we are binding activity prop. We can reference this prop here inside of our component, and we can get this value and display it inside of our template. And also, before I will close this, actually, I would like to show you one shortcut. You don't need to specify here actually vbind. I can remove this, and let's leave just a colon here and a colon here for activity and a key. And this is much nicer syntax, I think, because you don't need to write vbind, and you just need to specify just the name of your element you are binding. So let's save it like this, and very fast, let's refresh, and you can see everything is working as before. Okay guys, so that should be it. That's it for this lecture, and in next lecture we'll continue again with forms. So guys, I hope to see you in the next lecture.